As we are 15 minutes to the top of the hour, that means time for your grain update. Livestock coming here in a couple of minutes. We go to Chicago for this update, and our good friend Todd Horwitz, Bubba Trading. It's bubbatrading.com, and joining us live from the floor at the CME Group. Todd, interested to get your thoughts here now as we have seen the run higher. A little bit of a pullback now. We're not done pulling back, or yes, we are. What are your thoughts?
Good morning, Mark, and welcome XM 147. Right?
Yeah.
I tell you, I think that we're near the top, the temporary tops. I still love the spaces I have all the way along, but here I believe there's got to be some pretty significant selling coming in here, which is why I hope that everybody's taking care of it and handle their marketing by make sure in good shape. But I think that we had an unsustainable rally. I talked about that a little bit last week, and you cannot go parabolic straight up without having some sort of pullback. Now we've got a lot of outside stuff that's going to affect you. Germany and their 10-year boon, which equals out 10-year note, just went negative rates. The significance of that is what the Fed does tomorrow. If the Fed actually goes ahead and raises, that's going to strike the dollar significantly higher, which then would put a lot of pressure on our grain and our farmers and producers here. So that is one of the things that I'm looking at here as well. So there's a lot of issues outside of the markets because a lot of people are focusing on the weather right now and the WASDE report. And you know me, I don't care about the reports, but it's a little early to worry about the weather. I think for the health of the markets, and I think you'll get a much better yield later if we do get a little bit of a sell-up, because I think that brings in more health and that does attract more buyers and it'll bring more action later down the road.
Now, talk about the Federal Reserve Board meeting, the concluding tomorrow. What are your percentages that they will or won't do anything tomorrow?
I think it's almost 100% they won't do anything. Again, I believe that they're totally lost and don't really know where they're going from here. I think this Germany thing probably threw them for a little bit of a loop. I think the increased interest in Brexit, which is where the English want to pull out from the euro currency, that's another problem weighing on the Fed's minds here, which I think will concern them to be conservative. I think there'd be an outside chance that they could actually bring down the rate to zero again, which I don't give that a high probability, but there's a chance of that. But really, what they say and how they present this meeting will have a dramatic effect on the dollar. And again, that relates back to a dramatic effect on the commodity space, which then relates right back to our farmers and producers. And I think that will be one of the reasons you'll see probably some selling pressure, because I look for the dollar to gain a little strength there, especially with what everybody else is doing, because the other central banks are manipulating their currencies to make our dollar stronger.
Todd Horwitz, live from Chicago. Let's get to some numbers for those tuning in for the update here, Todd. What's going on? Corn, soybeans, and wheat. Corn down 2 to 3. The new crop December down 3 1/4. Soybeans a little bit lower overnight, and the beans continue lower. Double-digit declines here. Look at November there at 11.37 for a low. Where do you want to put a support? Not today, but maybe the next couple days.
Well, I think they're actually going back below 11 here, but I mean, if you're trading and you're looking for a spot, I'd probably be looking at about $11 because that was a key spot to try to break out from. Okay. But I really believe that we're probably going to see a little bit lower than there. Again, there are so many factors going on, and I think, as happens very often in the commodity space, we overshot the original mark, so that it has to back and fill a little bit and retrace down to some new support levels and then create back to that upward momentum that we saw. Because the momentum we saw initially was way too fast and way too powerful. There's not enough buyers to sustain that kind of move.
Very good. And we are 74% good to excellent in the soybean ratings here this week. All right, we'll take a break, Todd. Come back to you in 1 minute. We'll check that livestock trade and get your thoughts there. See if you like cattle or hogs anymore or less. Get that answer in 1 minute.